Go ahead.
I think the speech was well, by the way. You did a good job.
I like the way how you started. I like the way you started it.
This is when you know that someone's really done something that gets under people's nerves because they're discussing it.
So, I just think the problem is I don't think it really should be used that way because, like she said, the history of the word, even though it might be out of context, it's still the same meaning. And then it's with our society. You see it in everything from music, TV, comedy, anything. So if you look at, especially with youth, our lives are based on society and music and stuff like that. It influences greatly. So if you hear your favorite music artist, when you see them comedian saying it, most likely they think it's cool. Plus, like you said, you go through the hallway. I don't think you go through a period without hearing it at least 10 times going down the hallway or something. It's became such a thing. You're comfortable to it. It's comfortable now. Like the word doesn't have that much of a problem.
So so in other words, you're sort of saying it's the tone behind the word. If the tone was aggressive and mean, then I would take it that way. But so in other words, if I were to use the let's pick another horrible word, like the C word for a woman.
Not like for
If I were to use that word and I were to say it sweetly, she's my.
That's still
That's
I'm just saying.
Girls don't say that.
Don't say that. People have gotten, you know how the word holds power, right? I'm just saying this, that people have kind of got immune to the word, the power of the word, that it's just like, you walking down the hallway.
I just think, nigga, I just
yeah, the B word, for example, the B word.
Like it's so easily used and so common, like
there's just no meaning behind it anymore.
But if a boy called you the B
hear so many
word,
people saying that it just doesn't matter. So personally, I get mad when anybody calls me a B, but like when it's the N word, that's still wrong, no matter if it's an E or R or A, whatever. It's still wrong.
I'm just going to say one last thing. The way I see it, it's like
Hold on.
it's like Christianity with the cross.
It's what?
It's like Christianity with the cross. They took the symbol of the greatest persecution of the death of their Savior, and they turned it into their most everlasting.
you know so much.
That has meaning to billions of people around the world. They took something so negative and turned it into something positive, a symbol of hope for people around the world. I think that's what African Americans have done with the N-word.
So in terms of Brittany's speech, you remain unmoved by that?
Yes.
Basically, I just think when people use nigger, I just use it as a term as in black. But when people use nigger, I just think it's ignorant and all the extra stuff that they say a nigger is. But when somebody calls you nigger, I just like, oh.
So let me, one of the things that was in the speech that you ended up not putting in, probably for time's sake, was, do you think that Barack Obama refers to himself that way? Do you think that you can break a vision of what your possibilities are if you apply that word to yourself? Do you know, like for instance, can you break out of your world is small, calling yourself and thinking of yourself as that word?
No. Well, like, I feel if you want to be, like, go far, like, you can't just go around saying, like I know if I was working in corporate America, I wouldn't refer to another black man in my office.
So why do you do it in high school?
I don't know, because, like yeah, that's one thing, like, it's just because it's an immaturity thing. Two, it's like, we don't let, like, we just kind of, like, do it out of the word and let them, like, have power over this. So, like, just like Narcology said, like, if I let, like, every person that ever called me a nigga, if I ever, like, try to fight all of them, like, I'll be fighting the whole world, because, like, the whole world, like, calls you a nigga behind your back. So, like, if anyone calls me a nigga, I want to be like, oh, fuck, I want to go over there and slap her. Like, if you call me a nigga, I'll just be like, oh, word, you just call me a nigga, like, I'll just let it slide, but I want to, like, try to fight you. Like, you just can't, like, have, like, the word have power over you. That's, like, that's really what it is nowadays. Like, people just don't let the word have power over you.
I'm coming back to you.
I think what you mentioned is business and presidency and people in government. I'm pretty sure you go down the line somewhere in some big corporate business or in the government, somebody has used that word or derogatory term. I think the problem is that you able to differentiate where you're supposed to use that at. If you're playing around, I'm not trying to say this is word break, but if you're playing around, I'm with you, yeah, we say that to each other, that's different. But when it starts to work in a workplace where it's mixed views and people have different opinions on the word used, then that means people can't say it. It's gotta be
But I mean,
taught.
here's an interesting question, guys, because this is the part that I think Brittany's speech is trying to touch is, can I break my own view? It's like, if I understand that there are places where it's correct to use this word and there's places where it's not acceptable. And believe me, people call your president, my president, the N-word. But no, that's my question. Do you think that he really sees himself with the application of that word? Could he?
Not at all.
Okay, so that's the part that she's asking you to look at. Can I break my vision of my life as small if I apply a small word?
You can break it, but it's, think about it. Most of us in here already been saying, some kids, they've been saying it for multiple years. That's going to be hard to break it, but I understand what you're saying.
So going back to her thing, saying that awareness is the first part of breaking a habit, but what I hear you guys saying is, you know, it was a great speech, but it's a habit I don't choose to break. I'm not going to break the habit, and
It's not that like I don't choose to break it.
No, I don't think they're saying they don't choose to break it. It's hard.
It's like trying to quit cigarettes for somebody. Like it's like you've been so used to doing it for so long,
Right.
and then like trying to like one day just be like, I'm not gonna do it. Somebody's gonna say it to you. They be like, oh, you automatically think like, oh, I'm saying that. Like it's just too hard to like.
For example, we signed this speech, right?
Yeah.
As soon as we go out of here, we're gonna go on the bus, we're gonna go in the car. First song you're gonna hear, my nigga, you're gonna hear something like that.
Right.
We'll go out the hallway. Hey yo, my nigga, what you doing after school?
But your choices become, it's just like breaking the cigarette habit. Am I gonna look at that cigarette that's lying on that counter, I want to smoke it, my friends are smoking it, am I gonna smoke it?
But that's touching something. You're saying a cigarette like it's like.
Amy.
I quit them shit. I just go
Like Jason said, I think it's honestly like, it's a matter of like maybe immaturity, like personal choice. And he said the president probably isn't referring to himself as that. He's choosing to break away from that whole like societal downplay of the word. Maybe it's a matter of wisdom and like personal integrity. But I don't think just because the words become so common and so like, you know, mainstream, like like it can just happen with so many other words. I mean, the word faggot is becoming more common in other people's like vocabulary. If anyone does something even remotely feminine, oh, you're a fag. I mean, I would take offense to that. I would take that's a disgusting word. I hate that. But more and more, you're starting to hear that, and is it just like perpetuating? It's like this generation just making this worse and worse with every other word, just downplaying what's not right. I don't know if it makes it okay or not. Now it is. People are saying, yeah, it's fine. Like you're gonna walk out the hall, you're gonna say it, and you're gonna hear it. But I don't know. I don't know if that makes it okay. If we should just let it happen.
Maybe if it's okay with the person that it's referring to, then you can look at it like that. Because I actually know somebody that's actually gay that calls, he's gay, but he calls me a fag. Like, he don't take around, no disrespect. Like, we play around him, he'll say to me, like, oh, you're a fag for that. Or, da-da-da, you're a fag. And he actually gay, but he don't take that no disrespect or offense. Because he's passionate, like, he grew passionate, yeah, like, he don't let it get bothered, he don't let it.
I mean, I have gay friends who are like that too, but like you get past it, like when your friends are calling you the N-word, but some people may not. Some people may take offense when like a certain black or white person may call them that, just as a gay person may take offense to any other person. I don't know if it's gonna change. I don't know if it's right or wrong or okay. It's just what it is right now.
It's going to get worse.
Ellen has a speech that I don't want to run out of time for. This is such an interesting discussion. I have noticed that some